Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namaha Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Shri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So Hare Krishna, dear Prabhujis, dear devotees, we are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 2, contents of the Gita summarized, and in our last session we read the 35th verse. Now we are reading the 36th verse. So another very beautiful verse. Lord Shri Krishna, he continues, Avachya vadamscha bahun vadishyanti tavahitaha nindantastav samarthyam tato dukkataram nukim. Avachya vadamscha bahun vadishyanti tavahitaha nindantastav samarthyam tato dukkataram nukim. Avachya vadamscha bahun vadishyanti tavahitaha nindantastav samarthyam tato dukkataram nukim. Avachya, unkind, vadan, fabricated words, cha, also, bahun, many, vadishyanti, will say, tava, your, ahitaha, enemies, nindantaha, while vilifying, tava, your, samarthyam, ability, tataha, thereafter, dukkataram, more painful, nu, of course, kim, what is there? Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? So in the purport, Swami Srila Prabhupada is explaining, Lord Krishna was astonished in the beginning at Arjuna's uncalled for plea for compassion, and he described his compassion as befitting the non-Aryans. Now in so many words he has proved his statements against Arjuna's so-called compassion. So very, very small purport, only 4 lines, but very important verse. Avachya vadamscha bahun, many people. Bahun, avachya vadams, unkind words, fabricated words. Swami Srila Prabhupada is writing vadan, fabricated words, rumors. Avachya vadan, fabricated words, avachya, unkind, chabahun, many, vadishyanti tava ahitaha, enemies, ahitaha, tava, your enemies, vadishyanti, will say, nindantaha, while vilifying, ninda, while vilifying, tava, your, samarthyam, ability, tataha, thereafter, dukkataram, more painful, dukkataram nukim. So Lord Shri Krishna, he is describing, he is explaining Arjunji that you want to leave the battle out of compassion And Swami Srila Prabhupada also explained in the purport, but your enemies. So the material world is a relative world, and in this world there is duality. Swami Srila Prabhupada has always explained there is duality in this world. Somebody is your friend and somebody is your enemy. But in the spiritual world is absolute, and as such there is no duality in the spiritual world. Everyone in the spiritual world, they are your friend. Even enemies, they are friend. But in the material world, enemies, they try to harm or pain others. So tava ahitaha, tava ahitaha, your enemies. Nindantaha, while vilifying, will do ninda, will criticize you, will avachya vadan, unkind fabricated words. Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words. Bahun, many. So your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. Samarthyam. तव सामर्थ्यम तथो दुःखतरम ततो ततः thereafter dukkataram nukim. So your enemies will describe you in many unkind words. Lord Shri Krishna is saying, because there is duality in this world, so enemies will get an opportunity to give you pain. Because the enemies, they want to see, because they consider, of course you do not consider them as your enemies, you consider them as your brothers and friends and well-wishers, but because there is friction and now there is this war, so they consider you as their enemies, and that's why they are here to fight with you. And they as soon as they will get an opportunity, as soon as they will get an opportunity to criticize, they will use all sort of avachya vadan, unkind words, and rumors will spread. Fabricated words, they will fabricate. They will add on. What they want to propagate, what they want to advertise, they will add on to it. They will fabricate, they will words and will call you in many unkind words and scorn your ability, and they will scorn your abilities. They will say that he was not that capable. He was over esteemed. He was actually a coward. So Lord Shri Krishna, he is describing, your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? Dukkataram nukim. Tato dukkataram nukim. So at that time, it will be very, very painful for you. You will not be able to tolerate that. You will not be able to digest that in future. So Swami Srila Prabhupada, he is writing, Lord Krishna was astonished in the beginning at Arjuna's uncalled for plea for compassion, and he described his compassion as befitting the non-Aryans. Now in many words he has proved his statements against Arjuna's so-called compassion. Of course, Arjunji's compassion was not as such false compassion, but because he was a magnanimous soul. Because he was a magnanimous soul. But truly speaking, Lord Shri Krishna, and as many acharyas, spiritual teachers and masters, they have explained, and Swami Srila Prabhupada also explained, it was actually the will of the Supreme Lord. He wanted to punish all those miscreants because they insulted Draupadi ji. They were so irreligious. And because Lord Shri Krishna, he want to give credit to Arjun ji. When Lord Shri Krishna will show his Vishwarupa in the forthcoming chapters, Arjun ji will see that all those warriors and fighters of Duryodhana's party and others also, they are already killed. Lord Shri Krishna will show the future, actual future to Arjun ji. But here he is motivating Arjun ji for fight. Because he want to give credit to Arjun ji. Because they have pained the Supreme Lord, he says in the Bhagavad Gita, Kaunteya pratijanihi, Lord Shri Krishna will say, Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakteya pranashyati. O Arjuna, declare to the world that my devotees will never be vanquished. I always protect my devotees. So because Lord Shri Krishna can also punish, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just by his will, if he desire, all of them will die immediately. But he also want to teach them a lesson. And that's why, because they have insulted Pandavas, so Lord Shri Krishna want Arjun ji and other Pandavas to fight with them, and because Lord Shri Krishna is there with the Pandavas, so he want to grant in that way victory to the Pandavas. And because Arjun ji was compassionate, because he is a very, very magnanimous soul, but Lord Shri Krishna knew this very well, that nobody in this world will actually understand his feelings. Lord Shri Krishna knew this very well, he was knowing it very well, that nobody in this world, only the Supreme Lord, and that's why the Supreme Lord is the protector of the sadhus. People in this world, they cannot even understand such high feelings. Such high feelings they cannot understand, because in this world everyone is fallen, and everyone want to become the Lord of what all he surveys. And always there is a fierce competition in this world, and everybody want to prove himself superior to others. And as such, nobody will be able to understand, and Lord Shri Krishna knew this very well. They will not understand that Arjun ji, out of magnanimity or out of compassion, he left the war. And because Lord Shri Krishna knew the future very well, that they will in future all the enemies, of course Arjun ji do not consider them as their enemies. He is seeing them as his brothers and relatives. But Duryodhan ji has and his other supporters, they are becoming very, very envious of the Pandavas, and they want to fight with them. So they are considering Pandavas and others as their enemies. And Lord Shri Krishna knew very well that in future Lord Shri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He can see past, present and future. And he very well knows the outcome. He is not in ignorance and he knows the outcome. What will be the outcome? The outcome will be this. Avacyavadam. They will fabricate words and they will make stories, and that will be very, very painful for the Pandavas, for the Arjunji in the future. That will be even worse than death. The situation will become even more worse for Pandavas in the future, and they will no longer be able to live like respected Kshatriyas. The royal order, the respected, of course, when they were banished, they went to the jungle, they accepted. But in the future, the life will become more, and because Lord Shri Krishna is the protector of the religion, he is the protector of the sadhus. And he wanted to teach Duryodhanji and their party a lesson, and he wanted to give credit to Arjunji. Because Lord knows very well that his devotees are not attached to anybody more than him. And he knew very well actually that Arjunji will follow his dictations, will follow his direction. So he actually proved, Swami Srila Prabhupada, now in many words, he has proved his statements against Arjuna's so-called compassion. Of course, Arjunji's compassion was not so-called, but Swami Srila Prabhupada is also writing, compassion for fools, because Duryodhanji and their party, they are actually fully in ignorance, they are in complete ignorance. So showing compassion for them is of no use. And Lord Shri Krishna, he wants to give credit to his devotees, and he will show, when he will show his Vishwarupa, he will actually show, in the following chapters we'll see, he will actually show Arjunji that they are already killed. Nimitta, he will ask Arjunji to just become an instrument. I have already killed them. Lord Shri Krishna will accept this. They are already, and not I have, that is the will of the Supreme Lord. Those who are on the path of irreligion, for sure they will get back reactions of their misdoings, reactions of their sinful activities. So because Duryodhanji and their party is on the path of irreligion, so they have to get defeated. And Lord Shri Krishna, in one way, he is asking Arjunji to just execute his duty. And thus, by executing one's duty according to the religious codes and conduct mentioned in the scriptures, or as per dharma, one actually benefit himself and others. By killing Duryodhanji, by punishing the miscreants, a king actually benefits the sinner or the culprit. They get rid of their sinful reactions, and their future lives will be saved in that way. So very beautiful verse and very beautiful, though small but very wonderful concept, and a very beautiful purport. So अवाच्य वादांश्च बहून् वदिष्यन्ति तवाहितः निन्दन्तस्तव सामर्थ्यं ततो दुःखतरं नु किं ततो दुःखतरं नु किं. What will be more painful? Your friends, sorry, your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? So wonderful verse. We'll take up the next verse in our next session. Till then, I would like to stop this session here. जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य श्रोत्र शत श्री श्रीमती divine grace of Charnarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Shrila Prabhupada ji ki jai. All glories to His divine grace. Krishna Kripa Murti Abhay Charnarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Shrila Prabhupada. All glories to Lord Shri Krishna. All glories to Bhagavad Gita. All glories to Lord Chaitanya. All glories to holy name Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Nitai Gaur, Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.